Hey, sports fans, PBZ Sports Chaos. We're getting ready for Game 3 tonight in Dallas with the Celtics, and Game 3 tomorrow night in Edmonton with the Panthers Oilers. PB's about to pour himself a little toast.
Yeah,
Celebrating
little
both
Kilburn
these
Irish
things.
whiskey.
He's obviously very happy because he's a Celtics fan, and he's now become a Panthers fan living down there in South Florida. So I'm sure he's very happy. Hey, by the way, PB, a lot of breaking news in the last 24 hours. We won't go into it tonight. Maybe we'll talk about it later. But you got Joey Chestnut is out of the 4th of July hot dog eating contest because of a sponsorship issue. Jon Rahm has a foot infection. He's out of the U.S. Open, which is this weekend. Dan Hurley declines the Lakers $70 million and says, I'd rather stay for $35 million in UConn. And Aaron Rodgers is a no-show at New York Jets minicamp. Which of those 4 stories shock you the most?
Well, certainly not Aaron Rodgers not showing up. That's the least shocking.
Yes, I agree.
I'm
I gotta say Joey Chestnut.
Joey, I was gonna say Hurley not taking, like, that's a big step going up to coach in the NBA for the Los Angeles Lakers, no less. Like,
well, which is why I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And then Jon Rahm, Jon Rahm left last week's tournament early as well, so yeah. I guess we kind of saw that coming. So yeah, to me, it's Joey Chestnut.
All right.
I mean, not being there on 4th of July, he's an institution.
Yeah, right.
All right, speaking of institutions, the Canadian members of the NHL once again look like they are not going to win a Stanley Cup at this point in time. Oilers are down 0-2. I thought for sure they'd show up in Game 2. They played much feistier. They took some dirty shots. They got some penalties, but it didn't help them, did it, against the Panthers?
No. And what's even like stranger too is, and I think they finally broke it last game, is they were up at the 30 or 31 penalty kills in a row in the playoff. Like, that's ridiculous. And the Panthers, every time they went on a power play, I'm like, you're better off playing even strength. The Panthers were playing worse with a man advantage than they were at full strength.
Going into that game,
and they finally scored a power play goal in that game. They kind of broke that streak. But yeah, it's all Florida right now. I mean, these aren't even close. I'm 3-0 and 4-1. They're dominating.
The flip side of that is Oilers can't score on the power play themselves, right? I mean, they were 0-4 the other night, right?
Yep. I mentioned the Panthers PK and their special teams in general, their defense, they're putting pucks on net, right? There's no question that the Oilers are, giving them a run for their money. That first game, they were getting outshot 3-1. The Panthers were at some points in the game, right?
Yeah.
Bobrovsky was just stopping everything. And then it was kind of the reverse last game. The Oilers, the Panthers had more shots, but they couldn't get over that hump until Rodriguez scored those pair of goals in the third period. But man, it's been a good series.
It has. So let me ask you a question though. Can the Oilers turn it around when they go back to Canada?
I don't think so. I mean, I think best case scenario, they split there and they come back and they're down 3-1. I mean, if they don't sweep back in Edmonton, I think the series is over. I mean, if they're down 3-1, coming back to Florida for Game 5, I mean, I just don't see it happening. I mean, I took the
although the Oilers were down to the Stars, weren't they 3-1? Right?
I don't think they're down 3-1. I don't know if they're down 3-1 or not, but still.
Oh yeah, it was 2-2. That's right. They both lost at home, right? It was 2-2, and then
either way, it's a tough climb when you're down 3-1 to win a series, because you got to win 3 straight. That's what it boils down to. And the way this team's playing, the Panthers, and the way Bobrovsky's playing, I can't see the Oilers winning 3 straight. So they have to sweep at home. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they might lose tomorrow night. They might go down 3-0. Panthers are clearly the better team. I took the Panthers in 6.
Are you shocked? Are you shocked by the way Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, which were the 2 megastars coming into this series, they've been basically shut down, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, McDavid still looks like every time he gets the puck, he's scary. I mean, the guy can fly. He can maneuver. I mean, every time he puts the the puck's on his stick, I get nervous. But
But for the
yeah,
most part, in my opinion, him and especially Drysdale's been shut down.
yeah. Can we almost make an analogy that the NBA equivalent of McDavid and Draisaitl is like Luka and Kyrie?
I would give you that. I would definitely
You
give you
know?
that. Yeah, yeah. Although going into the series, I would have said Jalen and Jason, but the way they played, yes, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right,
But
let's talk.
I still got the Panthers. I took the Panthers in 6 to begin before the series started. I always stick with my guns, although I'm not sure it's going to even go 6 at this point.
I'm kind of with you. I'll ask you at the end of this. We'll have to do the NBA, but which series goes 4-0? Because I think one of them is going to go 4-0. I got a feeling.
I think the Celtics have a better chance of sweeping. By the way, the Panthers have not been slouches on the road in these playoffs either. 3 of the 4 games they won against the Bruins were in Boston. Boston
Like
didn't win
last
one
year.
game.
Like last year.
Just like last year. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the Bruins didn't win one game at home in that series against the Panthers. So the Panthers could play on the road.
They can. I give you that.
Will the travel have anything to do with it? I don't know. You're getting the extra day's rest, so maybe that 2,500 miles isn't as big of a deal.
By the way, am I not mistaken? Is this the longest travel distance between Stanley Cup finals? I think that's what I heard, right?
It is in
Yeah.
the history. Yeah. Yep.
Wow, 2,500 miles.
But at the end of the day, I still think it's the Panther series to win. If I had to pick a team that is more likely to sweep, I'd probably go with the Celtics. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Panthers do too. Or they do and the Celtics go 5 or whatever.
All right, let's talk a little NBA. By the way, as I think about the Dallas Mavericks here, who last won a title in 2011, and the Texas Rangers, who won the World Series last year, I forgot about this. The Dallas Stars won a Stanley Cup in '99, which means the longest drought in the Dallas area belongs to the Dallas Cowboys. Can you believe that? Who would have thought between the Rangers and the Stars, especially, the longest drought is the Cowboys, going back to '95 for crying out loud. That's unbelievable.
Wow. That is.
All right. So we get the Celtics. We get going to the Mavs tonight. We just heard Porzingis is definitely out for the game tonight. It was shocking to hear the news yesterday that he had this injury that came about in late in the game on game 2. But the Celtics seem to be in a good place right now. What do you foresee happening at this point in time? Can the Mavs, without Porzingis being in this game, do something different, and what will it take to do so?
I mean, they have to. There's no question about it. But what can they do? That's the question. The second part of that question, what can they do?
Well, I'll tell you right now, what I find shocking is, well, first of all, Kyrie's been a complete no-show, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think at this point, you got to take the ball to the rim. You got to get inside. You got to get the ball in the paint, and you got to take the ball to the rim. Like with Porzingis out, that's probably their best chance of changing things.
And that's the one thing they haven't done so far. Even with Porzingis not in the game, PJ Washington, Derek Lively, all those guys that lived by the dunk and the alley-oop, Derek Jones, and then the kid Goddard, I think is how you say his name. None of those guys have been effective inside so far. And yes, a lot of it's when Porzingis is not in here, but Porzingis only played 22 minutes in the first game and less than that in game 2. So the rest of the team is playing well. Drew Holiday, in my mind, right now, could be the MVP of this series.
I could be
26-11 in the last game. He's playing awesome defense on Luka. Yep. Derek Jones quietly has also been impressive. He doesn't have a lot of points, but he's still averaging double figures. Yep. Horford, when he's been in there, he's going to have to carry a load without Porzingis tonight. I get that. And Jalen, you know what? Kudos to the Dallas coach, Jason Kidd. I agree with him. Right now in the playoffs, the better Celtic has been Jaylen Brown at this point in time.
Yeah, yeah. Let's not forget either. The Celtics are 6-0 on the road in the playoffs. They haven't lost a game yet. And by the way, Porzingis wasn't on the floor for any one of those games.
No,
not one.
No,
he got hurt in the first or second game of the first series. So they are 6-0 on the road, 6-0 without Porzingis on the road. So I mean, I'm not worried about Porzingis not being in there, but at the same time, when he is in there, it's almost an automatic.
I will say this. One stat came out today I saw that did make me go, oh, the Celtics are plus 25 in this series with Porzingis on the court. Without him, it's flat. They're even. That kind of caught my eye, especially with Kyrie not being effective at all in this series. He's shooting like 28%, I think, in the series. And Luka, by the way, he puts up 30 points, but he's 2-10 in the fourth quarter in the last game. Kyrie was 0 from 3-point land. Kyrie was 0-8. You know, these are things that could change on a dime, especially with Porzingis out of the game. Now he won't be rotating against them, where a couple of times that Kyrie was shooting was against Porzingis, 7 foot tall, 7'2", with like a 9 foot reach, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I'm still sticking with, I said before the series started on the show, I said Celtics in 5. I'm still going to go with that. I think they split in Dallas. Dallas figures out a way to win one of the games, whether it's tonight's game or they salvage a game 4 down 3-0. They win one of the games in Dallas, and then the Celtics come back and take care of business on home court and win game 5. That's
Phoebe, I got a question for you. Which one of the mega stars has to play lights out tonight? Kyrie Irving or Jason Tatum?
Has to play lights out. It's obviously Kyrie Irving, because Jason Tatum has too much of a supporting cast around him that can step up. Like we talked about Drew Holiday potentially being the MVP of the series right now. Jaylen Brown is probably playing better than Jason Tatum in the series so far, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Derek White can come up big in any game and put up 25 to 30 points unexpectedly. You know, I just don't think Jason Tatum has to, where I think Irving pretty much has to.
I would agree with you on that. I will add this one thing, though. If you're Jason Tatum and playing the legacy of people like John Havlicek, Larry Bird, Paul Pierce, you have yet to show up in this finals. You're considered to be the GOAT of the series against Golden State 2 years ago for not showing up. Jason Tatum, I think, has to make a mark without forcing it. I don't want him to force it, but I think he has to have a prime time moment, especially in the game without Porzingis. That's my opinion. He just has to. He's a 3-time, first-time All-NBA player, and right now he doesn't even look like he belongs on the 3rd team All-NBA in this series. So Jason Tatum, I think, has to show for Celtics legacy. This is the game without Porzingis there. He's going to make his mark. Yes, Kyrie has to be a difference for Dallas. But for the legacy of the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum has to show up tonight. He has to. I think he's going to put up 30 plus with 10 rebounds.
All right. That's. I was going to say, what if he puts up 15, 16 points but has 10 assists?
Again, you know, if they win, great.
And hits a game-winning 3.
Different story if it comes out right. If he makes a game winner, that's a different story. I get better odds on Peyton Pritchett making a game winner than I do Jason. Peyton Pritchett loves the challenge of that last shot. That's what I love about him. He's like Petey, Dustin Pedroia. Little guy who has no fear.
Did you see that one he put off the glass at the end of the...
Oh, God, yeah.
That's great.
Hey, by the way, before we wrap up, a solemn night tonight. Jerry West, Laker Hall of Famer, the guy that the trophy's named after, yada, 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 passed away at 86 years old. I'm sorry to see that. Jerry
Isn't
West.
Isn't that the NBA logo too?
Yeah, the NBA logo, correct. Yeah. So R.I.P. Jerry West. All right. So I asked you earlier, which series do you see sweeping?
Well, I don't have either sweeping, but I have Celtics in 5, Panthers in 6. I'm sticking with that. But if you ask me right now, which team has a better chance to sweep, I'm going Celtics just because of their dominance on the road in the playoffs.
Let me ask this question. If both teams that are ahead right now 2-0 win and go up 3-0, which team sweeps?
I might shift that back to the Panthers at that point.
I think the Celtics. If the Celtics go up 3-0, they sweep. I think Dallas folds. I think Kyrie folds 10, much like he did in 2019 when he left the Celtics and didn't show up in the last game of the playoffs.
Right. But I think either way, we're not seeing two either series going 7 right now. I don't think.
I agree with you on that one. I definitely agree with you on that. All right, we'll see very shortly. Tip off is at 8:30. We're about an hour away from that. So we'll talk soon, PB. Nice show.